Preparing live stream. Setting up your meeting for Facebook Live. We're almost there. We're probably already there. Just the loading time in between is forever.
Well, Facebook's having issues lately.
Facebook has been a freaking crapshoot. Same with Instagram, but I guess they're all tied.
Well, they were down for 8 hours yesterday or something.
Yeah, I just like put my phone in my pocket and I'm like, I'll just follow up tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I did it. Woo! We are live. I'm gonna go ahead and put a comment here and just say if anyone's watching and you have questions, go ahead and write them in the comments. Write comments here or questions. Dun, dun, dun. I can't spell comments. All right, introductions. I'm Tunisia. I'm with Brick by Brick Real Estate. We have Brian with Security National. I'm in between like supersets of a workout. So like my alarm came off and I ran in. I'm like, I just here. And so if like I start getting wet anywhere, it's because I'm really sweaty and gross. So ignore me. But we do Facebook Lives the first week of every month. And we finally nailed down a date. It's only taken us, what, like a year and a half?
Yeah.
So every Wednesday, yeah, there we go. Every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, I'm lying already. Every Wednesday. Month, there we go. First Wednesday of every month at 10 o'clock a.m. And technically it's 10:07 right now. So 10 o'clock-ish, because it's always a mad scramble at the end. We're going to be doing market analysis of market stats in Utah. So what we rotate through is we go affordability, we talk about renting versus owning, we talk about the cost of waiting, and then we also talk about forecasting, just where our market's at and where it's going. And so today's, we are going to be talking about rent versus own. And I'm going to go ahead and Brian, make you the host so that way you can share us all of the amazing things on your screen. Ooh, there we go. It's a little hard this morning. Okay, there you go, all you. Okay. So if anyone has questions, I'm watching our Facebook feed. So go ahead and write them in the comments. And this is a live interactive form that Brian's going to be sharing with us. So if you're curious about your exact situation, let us know what it looks like. If you're watching this after and you're not joining us live, we can still do the same workup for you. So we'll go ahead and put in Sally Sue as our hypothetical person as we go through this. But if
I know a Sally Sue. I do know a Sally Sue, by the way.
Do you really?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's been a few years, but I know of a Sally Sue.
Okay.
Maybe she'll join us.
Hey, guess what? My thing needs to update now. I'm no longer with Keller Williams. Announcement, I've switched brokerages and I'm with eXp Realty. Dun, dun, dun.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, thank you, thank you. It's still new. I have got a whole, week and 3 days under my belt. So I'll forgive you this once, Brian, but next time, next month, if that says KW, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Fix later.
How's that? That better?
Better, we'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, the address is wrong too. Okay, we'll just skip the people thing. How about that?
There you go, perfect. Okay, tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, this is what a lot of people want to, when we talk to people all the time about, hey, should I rent or should I buy? There's really, you have no choice unless you have some free housing somewhere. But there's really, those are really your two choices. And a lot of people think, gosh, how much is rent and how much would it cost me per month? Usually people think in terms of a monthly payment, comparing it to rent. And so what we want to do here is we have a tool that we use to quantify what the difference is between renting or buying. And by the way, the answer is different for everybody. What I've done is I put some numbers in here for Bluffdale using pretty good data, I think. I actually refreshed this last night. So I got some kind of an average rent amount up there. And maybe we're looking at townhomes specifically. There's a lot of townhomes in Bluffdale and Harriman around there. So I think this is a pretty fair representation of what we're looking at. So what we take into account are the payment. We're also going to look at what happens in terms of appreciation, and we're going to put it all together in one big package and say, okay, what is the difference between renting and buying? And we can quantify that. So the first thing we want to look at are payments. So here's the case we're using here. This is a hypothetical. Well, again, I think it's reasonable. Yeah. So the rent in the townhomes up in your area, Tanisha, are probably, I figure about 2,100, right? For a townhome ish.
Yeah, no, that's pretty spot on. What was interesting is I had done a renting analysis a little while ago, probably last month. I don't know if you guys saw the article from KSL, but it specifically talked about how renting is increasing and at what rate for the state of Utah. And we'll get into those stats and whatnot. So I was just curious because 3 months before that point, I had just listed our own rental and I had listed it at 1,800 because the size is comparable to what the townhomes are. And I went back 3 months later now, researched it, and we're right there at that 2,100 mark. And just in the 3 months, there had been like a 20% increase. Yeah. So I'm really interested to look at these stats because I think we're on a really conservative scale right now. Because according to that article, there were some pockets over one calendar, I think it was either 1 year or a year and a half, they had increased 66%. Like that's insane. That's over double, right, of what your mortgage is. So yes, to answer your question, 2,100 I think is spot on with where the rental rates are right now for Bluffdale area at the point of the mountain. Yeah, and that's what we're using. As far as a comparable sales price, I use 450,000. That's reasonable. That might even be a little high even for what you can get. I feel like it might be a little high, but we're definitely getting there. What I'm really curious to know is I want to go back on our YouTube page and look up renting this time last year. And I bet this price point was for like a single family home. Like it's so crazy to see the market differences. And that's why I love doing these on a quarterly basis because every time it's a different story. So even though it's the same topic, it's a different market, it's a different ball game. And it's crazy to me that 450, like we're almost to what I bought my house for in this area. It's not going to take much long before we're there, and that's just for a townhome. Yeah, okay. and we're gonna look at that because we're gonna take into account appreciation of the home itself and appreciation or rather not appreciation, but an increase of rent. Now I'm going to use, here are our assumptions. I'm going to look over 9 years, a 9-year period. Okay. And say, all right, if it's 9 years, because you're not going to buy a house for a year, probably, right? You're going to be in it for a while. So let's look at 9 years, and it breaks it down by year. The assumptions are this: your rent starts out at $2,100 per month as a rent, and I'm going to assume a 5% annual increase to rent, which is so minimal. Which is probably just irresponsibly minimal, but that's okay. And you'll see why I'm doing it in a second. This is looking at kind of a worse. I'm favoring making renting look better, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. Sure. So you start out at 2,100, and we're going to use, and we're trying to be apples to apples, right? So to best emulate actual living expenses. So if you rent a townhome or house or whatever, you're going to want to have renter's insurance, and that covers your stuff, not the building itself, but your stuff. For theft, there's a little bit of liability in there. So let's say it's $240 a year. That's pretty typical, maybe a little high even. Who cares? That gives you an idea. Wait, where are you seeing 240? I see $20. $20 per month. That's broken up per month. Yes. Sorry. Okay. So we live in months around here. Yeah. So I'll just represent like all of the people who are processing at the same level as I am. Yeah. Yeah. So right. I'll ask all the questions. So everyone's like, yeah, I knew that. Duh. No, I'm glad. Cool. Thanks for bringing that up. Yes. So, and then so that means that your monthly expense, and I'm just going to use insurance and rent. Okay. We're going to ignore repairs and stuff like that for now. It's not going to amount to much. So, $2,120 per month is where your rent starts. Okay. On this chart here, you can see that your rent's going to steadily increase, and that's this line here, the second one. Okay. It's going to go up by 5% per year. That's our assumption. Okay. Yeah, I think that's low, but that's where we're going to go. So by the time 9 years goes by, your rent and insurance will go up a little bit. We think it's maybe $30 a month. Sure. Your renter's insurance. That means your payment's going to be $31.32. So quick question before we keep going. And I don't want to change anything here, but if I'm like, holy crap, Brian, 9 years is a lifetime. Like 10 years from now, I'm at a completely different life point than I am here. What about the next 5 years? Can I adjust this whole scale to see it for 5 years, but like a closer zoomed in view? Yeah, well, I can actually, this is a PDF. I got this so it won't flip out on me. Here's your difference right here for 5 years.
So you'll be at 2,500.
Okay.
So, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So if you go to purchasing a house, right?
Okay.
And I'm using a sales price of 450,000.
Got it.
And 3% down payment.
Okay.
Okay, there are zero down payments available, but I did 3% because that seems pretty kind of normal nowadays.
Okay. If someone was doing a 0% down, how much more would their payment go up, just roughly?
Oh, 100 and let's see, 20. Oh, about $120 a month, 150 maybe, something like that.
Okay, so they're still like significantly under what rent is, right?
Correct.
Okay, correct. And then also, just for everyone who is slow at math like me, 3% is 13 grand, right? 13,500.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Keep going.
Yeah. So to be consistent, to compare apples to apples, your monthly loan payment, 1718 in this case, and your taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance, which is involved with the mortgage, all the stuff you need, get your payment to about, oddly enough, about 2101, which is just about what your first year rent is.
So if they're doing a zero down option, they're upside down a little bit buying that first year.
Yes.
And they're spending, let's say, $150 more a month, right?
Yeah.
So times that by 12, I mean, you're still less than $2,000 difference, which
Correct.
I feel like over a year time span is not pennies and dimes. That's still a significant number. But over the lifetime, if you're picking up quarters and pinching your pennies, you could save that $1,800 to make up that difference.
Yeah. And if you see here, up here, see where it says 2226, that's the rent.
Okay.
The rent goes up 5%. There's your zero down loan, pretty much.
Got it. And in this market, really, it's like in the next 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's going off my funny 5% estimate.
Sure. The national is great for like a 10-year time span to average out. Right now, we're definitely like the graph is looking like this, but it's not going to be like that forever. So being at 5% for someone who's like, I want to be very conservative and make this a landslide of a decision of night and day. That's what we're trying to create, is we're going to be so conservative in these numbers to make sure that if you're using this as a metric to decide what's best for you, you're going to be safe.
Yeah, you can be pretty safe that way. So here's we've looked at the payment difference and how the nice thing about a mortgage is your payment's going to stay pretty steady. Now it will probably increase due to property taxes.
Sure.
But it's calculated in here, but it's not very much. I mean, you're talking a few dollars a month per year, type thing. In theory, when your value goes up. Okay. The second thing is, it's not just the payment you got to look at. You got to look at what the appreciation of the house you purchase. That's been a big thing, right?
Yeah, and to define that too, because I feel like if you're new to the home industry in general, appreciation pretty much means, okay, I bought my house for this. As the market goes up, that's going to drive higher or lower or whatever it appreciates for. So we're looking at what the house is going to be worth. So every year your house is worth more. Just like not interest rates, the rental rates are going up. That's because housing market's going up. You've got more of a mortgage to cover. So you're going to be able to, once you own a home, gain equity in your home. And so when you say an appreciation gain, that's how much more your house is worth, right, Ryan?
Yes, exactly. And the beautiful thing about owning is that the value of your home goes up, like you said, but also you can lock in your payment.
Mm-hmm.
So while rent is going up and you really have we don't have control over rent really, right? As a renter, which is it is what it is. And we don't have really control over home values either, but we can lock in. So when you buy, you lock everything in.
I want to just illustrate this point really quick. So I had a client call me maybe a month ago, and we had helped bought her actually a townhome. It was a townhome, and they had purchased it last year. It was a year and a half ago. And they're saying, hey, Tunisia, we literally have 80 grand of equity, that appreciation in their house. They're like, this is awesome. We're thinking about getting out of debt. We have our mortgage, we have our cars, we have our whatever. We're thinking about potentially selling our home, getting out of debt, and then finding a rental. We found a couple rentals. Some of them are a couple $100 more than what we're paying, but that way we could be debt free. And I'm like, okay, I love the thinking. I like the idea of being debt free, but let's hold the phone for a second and let's think about that. Because Brian, if you scroll up to that graph again, they're in a situation where, yes, they're locked in their rate. And if rent is already more than what it is right now, you're going to be spending more and more. And now you're going to jump to that purple line. And so it was just kind of a conversation of like, hey, you've worked really hard. Yes, that's exciting. We have that 80 grand of equity in your house, but that equity is not going anywhere. It's going to keep building. So why don't we wait until we get to maybe year 2 or year 3, year 4, and we can do a cash out refinance, take that money, pay off your debt then, but keep your home. And I think as we get deeper into these numbers, it'll help illustrate why that's more of a benefit and a long-term success, or whatever you want to call it. Because they're literally living this. Like, this graph so far has been their life. They purchased the home, they were broke even their second year. And in year 2, they're reevaluating. But as you can see, as a homeowner now, they have options. They can sell. They can potentially cash out in the future. They've locked in their interest, their monthly payments. It's not going to go up. And they can now choose. Whereas if they had not pulled the trigger and made that, now we're talking, okay, that 80 grand equity that they've built in their home, now they have to purchase that same townhouse for that much more, and the story completely changes.
Yeah.
So,
which, by the way, that's great advice, because a lot of times people just say, hey, a real estate agent, Tanisha, the typical agent's just going to say, sell. It's, that's what I do for a living, right? But we go a lot deeper. And we really want to help you reach your financial goals, and not just do what's best.
And I'm
for us.
like, if anything, I'm like, rent your house, go get a rental. That's fine. Rent your house and keep it. There's always options. You have so many more doors you can walk through. But once
they're making so much money on the appreciation, you can't walk away from it.
I'm like, just keep it.
And I know who you're talking about too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, good. So on those same lines, so here's the appreciation numbers. So I'm using an appreciation, meaning a value increase. And Tanisha is going to laugh at this number. I'm using a 4.17 annual appreciation, right? What are the number? What was the last 12 months, Tanisha? Do we even dare throw that number out? It's
stupid.
Yeah,
well, it's home value. Like, literally, I could say 120 grand is what every house in the state of Utah has gone up,
regardless of the price.
I don't care if it's a townhome, a condo, a house. Like, let's just say 120, and then you do the math of whatever that percentage is.
Yeah.
But
it's
not
instead
gonna
of
last forever.
instead of 25%. Yeah, that's crazy. So we're gonna get very conservative. And say, okay, this is a kind of it's a long story on the number, but it's a very conservative number. So if you buy for 450 in that 9-year period, you're going to be at 650, 220. Okay, so there's the appreciation, what we call appreciation gain. That's another gain. The third part of the equation, besides the payment, the home value increasing, the appreciation, is what's called amortization gain. And people don't think about this very often. When you start out your loan, you're going to be making mortgage payments every month, right? Instead of rent. Well, you're going to be paying interest and principal. Now, principal means you're paying money of that payment. Some of it's going to go toward the principal balance. So after this 9-year period, in this particular scenario, you're going to pay this things down from your original loan. You start out at $407,400.
Yep.
After 9 years, you paid this thing down. If you don't pay extra, if you just make your minimum monthly payment, you're going to pay it down to $320,843. So you're going to pay this thing down about $86,000, as opposed to renting, when you pay down your landlord's loan by $86,000, right?
Sure.
So if you're either paying towards your own house, or you're paying towards somebody else's. So those are the three elements. And these other two, a lot of people don't think about, especially the third one. They don't think about how much they're going to be gaining.
On that third one, can I give you a homework assignment? Because I'm really curious.
Yes.
If you scroll up to that top graph again, I'm curious to know, over this 9-year period, if you were to take the difference in what you would be paying to rent versus what your mortgage is on that, and applied it to your loan. So let's say you're like, I'm going to pay my mortgage like I'm a renter. I'm curious to know what that amortization gain would be at the end of 9 years, because that's quite a bit more that you'd be putting to principal each year.
Yeah.
How much, like, of your 30-year mortgage would you save off? And if you don't mind, like, so we're posting this live to the Facebook group. After this, if you wouldn't mind, like, I'm really curious, and just post that in the comments. I would be really interested to know how much of your mortgage you would have left to pay, how many years, and what that amortization gain would look like.
You know what? I can do it right now. I'll do
You're
both
like,
at once. If I'm looking away, I'm actually running the numbers right now in that very scenario. That is really cool. I like that. So let's say, okay, well, I'll see if I can multitask.
Okay, if you can't
I'll summarize this. I'll summarize this. You'll talk.
Short.
I'll do this. Okay. So if we combine all three together,
okay,
here's the overall gain per year. So, like you mentioned with our client you mentioned before, get these out of here. If the first year you're going to be underwater because of closing costs on your mortgage or expenses to buying a home, and that's all.
What those closing costs are as a buyer, because as a buyer, you don't have to pay your real estate agent.
Correct.
Most of the time. That's kind of a blanket statement. But traditionally, the seller is going to pay the real estate fees both on the buying and selling side. So as a buyer, you're not obligated to that expense. So what are these other closing costs? I know that they're going to have a appraisal to figure out what the home is worth, right? That's required when you do a loan. Yeah, we also may want to have a home inspection, but that's probably not included in this number because it's optional, right? So there may be, if we round up to like 4,200, that could blanket different optional things.
Correct.
There's some title work, some underwriting fees. Tell me what the bulk of that is.
Most of it are a couple things. Like you mentioned, you've got your appraisal. You've got title fees, and title fees are what we have to use. We have to use title companies, and what they do is they make sure that your ownership is recorded with the county on county records. You officially own the house, and there are no lien problems. Kind of technically, yeah. So it's kind of important. So unlike when you buy a car, you get a title in the mail. Yeah. And this one, you actually are recorded as the owner of the property of the county records. That's the official ownership of record. So they make sure all that goes smooth. They make sure all the money goes from party A to party B, and they make sure all the money isn't going to the wrong place and all that. So that's half of it probably. You have lender fees on there, which are usually $1,000, $1,500, depending on what type of loan we're doing. So I've kind of built that all in there. And then you have some upfront costs for your insurance. We pay your first year of homeowners insurance and some taxes for your escrow. When you make your payment, if I go back up here, you're going to make your payment this $1,718, which is the loan payment, just for the loan itself, plus taxes and your insurance and all that stuff. So you're making one big fat payment of the $2,101. That's going to cover your taxes and your homeowner's insurance. That's your theft and fire insurance.
Got it.
All that's included in there. And then the upfront cost to do that, it's about $3,800 actually.
Okay.
Of all that. And that'll vary a little bit, but that's basically how it works.
Sure. So, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you're underwater year one.
Wait, one more thing I want to add.
Yeah.
If you're doing a zero down, does that mean I have no closing costs? Because that's also wrapped into the loan. Can I buy a house and not have to pay a penny here? Or do I need to save at least that $3,800? What does that look like?
Yeah, in most cases, you really need to save the $3,800. Usually, there's some cases where you don't have to have much, maybe as little as $1,000. We have access to a lot of city and county grant programs, depending on your income. And they're raising these rates. They've been doing this actually this year. They're trying to push what they call moderate income housing initiatives or loans. They're trying to push those income caps higher so that more people fit into these boxes. Qualify for them. Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of that upcoming in the next couple of years. A lot more opportunity. If that's the case, we do some zero down programs for people, and they literally bring in $1,000.
Okay, got it. And so if you're penny pinching, shoot for that 1,000. Talk to us. We'll talk about other options, but it seems like that part isn't going to go anywhere. But keep going.
Yeah, there you go. So here's what we're combining all the appreciation, we're combining the amortization, all the differences from renting to buying is summarized in this graph here. So you have your underwater year one, year two, you start making money and off you go.
Got it.
And that's without doing anything fancy.
What's the cost to sell number? Why am I talking about selling if I'm buying?
Well, we just want to show kind of if you keep this house for exactly 9 years and you sell it, this is what it would cost to sell it. How much cash you'd walk away with. That's why they have it in there. So the only reason it does not figure into this. Sure. You don't ever have to sell it, right? So if you wanted to sell it, here would be your net benefit if you sold it after the 9th year.
Got it. Perfect. I like it.
So there you go. So really at the end of the day on this particular scenario, and we run these custom all the time. So this is just generic guy. I don't know, Sally Joe, is that her name? It's for Sally.
Sally Sue. I think
Sally Sue, Sally Sue, Sally Joe, whatever. You're better off by just about $300,000. Just a hair.
Pocket change. It's fine.
No big deal. Yeah, no big deal.
What I do want to show with this too is like, this is very gradual from like 6 to 7, from 7 to 8. Like if you're looking at the graph, it's very small, but from 1 year to year 10, obviously it's really drastic. So this isn't going to be, it's similar to that story that I brought up earlier with that couple that's at a 1.5 year mark. You know, they're sitting here and they're like, wow, this is awesome. Let's take advantage of this. But that's still just like one notch. And so that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow over the space of time.
Yeah.
And then also just to note, as of right now, everyone's wondering, okay, what's going on with the housing market? Is it going to crash? Is it going to go down? If I buy right now, am I shooting myself in the foot? Because next year it could be a completely different market, which is true. No one can predict the future of what that looks like. But look at any real estate graph and take a step back and looking at things on a 10-year mark, you're going to see increase. Yes, there's going to be peaks and valleys. We had a huge, massive earthquake in our near future, in our past. We had COVID. We've had all of these things that have influenced what that line looks like. But looking at that bird's eye view, 10-year total, you're going to see that positive increase. And so now the question is, okay, am I ready to buy right now? Talking to Brian or myself, you have zero risk. There's no costs. We can run these analysis for you. Brian also does a fantastic job with credit repair. Most of my clients will be on the 6-month credit repair plan. Sometimes they're able to cut that time in half, but it's literally down to the penny. It's like $7.35 here. You know, let's get this collection removed. And so regardless of whether you can start this graph right now and say, hey, I'm ready to buy, we can create your own outside of rent versus own for getting you to the point to where you can have this starting point. So no matter where you are, it's clear and evident that renting is a temporary solution if you're wanting to take advantage of financial gains in your future. And renting isn't always bad. If, like Brian said at the beginning, if you have a place where you can live rent free or you can take the time to save, those are also different considerations to have. So this document that we're looking at is completely customizable for your unique situation. And if it doesn't apply to you right now in that you're able to buy a home, we have other things that we can do to help to see exactly where you're at. But my recommendation is let's just paint a roadmap. Let's see where we're at. And that way, you know, we can start building a plan for what that looks like for you into the future.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we can do a plan for everybody. I mean, you'd be surprised how accurate these plans can be, especially with credit repair. And by the way, we don't use credit repair companies that charge a fee. The credit repair is all free. It's nothing. It's usually just knowing what to do and how to do it.
Sure.
Usually not that complicated. It's not that.
Absolutely.
Doesn't require a law
I'll have so many people who are like, I'm looking to buy, but it's sometime in the future. I just got to pay off my debt now. And I'm like, that's so vague, right? Sometime in the future is really never. And paying off some debt now, unless if you know exactly what to do to pinpoint or you're changing life habits, you're going to stay in that phase for forever. And so I would just challenge anyone who wants to buy a home at some time in the future, just take a step back and be like, what is the worst that can happen if I actually lay out a plan to see what that looks like? Because the future could be 5 years, it could be 3 months, it could be tomorrow, it could be right now. But not knowing exactly, you're in complete control over that. And you have tools and resources. We're here to help you. For Brick by Brick, our number is 385-352-3892. Brian, what's your number?
Our number is that's what we got our new number. What is it, Jake? Our number.
Oh no.
What?
Put you on the spot.
801-716-1005. Got it.
Done.
We keep changing our main number. That's our main number, yeah.
Brian, were you able to multitask and give us a number? If not, do you want to throw it in the comments? And either way, let's throw it in the comments.
I'll tell you what it is right now. I'll tell you what it is. So if you take our wimpy 5% increase of rent, right? And you take the increase and apply that to your mortgage starting with year 2. So in other words, you increase your mortgage payment to this right here.
Yes.
If you do that, you'll pay your home off in 17 and a half years. It's paid off.
Whoa. So you're almost cutting it in half.
Yeah, just about. You cut the interest that you pay over the life of the loan in less than half.
What's that? Does your little thingy tell you what that payment is of what? No, your interest payment. No, your interest payment is based off of your mortgage or what you own, your principal. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
So as your principal goes down, your interest goes
down.
Down. So that difference in interest payment, do you know what that is of how much you would save interest wise over that?
It'll change. Yeah. So it changes. Because the way it works with when you calculate a loan amortization is what they call that when it goes down.
Every time you pay
every time you pay it. So every dollar you pay extra, you pay into principal,
okay,
$1 not accruing interest that very next month.
Yes.
So you're putting what you're essentially doing, if you look here, is you're increasing your payment by about $100 ish, 110.
Yeah.
You know, and that's starting year 2. And so what you do is you cause it's the opposite. What is it? Warren Buffett's secret of wealth is the compound interest, you know, or whoever said that. Yeah. So it's compound interest in reverse. So you're sticking it.
Think about it. It's like if you save 13 years off your loan, right? So if I just take 13 times 2,120, right? Because that's what my mortgage payment was. That's 27 grand. Like that's almost 30 grand. In interest, not in interest, just in payments period that I'm saving, just marrying myself to the rental rate. Right. And if you are marrying yourself to the rental rate and you don't have a mortgage, that's how much more you're paying than you would need to if you purchased a home, right? And that's pulling a lot of things that don't necessarily belong into the same category. But the illustration is, you know, you're going to be better off getting your foot into real estate, getting that home, especially if it's your own home and it's where you want to be, you're in a win-win situation at that point.
Yeah, it's actually more than that. It's the amount of savings.
Yeah,
it's actually quite a bit more than that. I just calculated it here. So the difference in 543. Oh, hold on. I had it. 300. Okay, so the difference in payments. It's really 12 and a half years of non-making interest. You're still going to pay taxes and insurance, right?
Yes.
But roughish numbers. It's about, in interest, you save about $80,000 in interest.
Pocket change.
But it's basically a rounding error, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Pocket change, and you save roughly 100. About 85,000 in principal. Yeah, so it's a lot. I mean, it's about 80 grand.
So if you're stuck on renting, keep renting to yourself, but buy your own house.
Yes,
exactly. You'll be in a great spot. That's a win-win.
Or you could follow the actual rental increases, which is more than 5%. I'm just using.
Gosh. I don't know if I can afford that. I'd be homeless. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And again, it's not going to last forever with a graph that's going this steep. Yeah. But even so, like in the past, honestly, 3 to 4 months, we've gone up at a 20% rate in my backyard. And that's conservative in other pockets in the state of Utah. So best of luck to first-time home buyers who are battling this battle. At the end of the day, you don't need luck. You just need a plan. So contact us. We're happy to help. We're going to be back here first Wednesday of next month, 10 o'clock. We're going to be talking about market analysis. Check out our Brick by Brick in Facebook page. It'll have when those are. And then also, if you're curious about the past market analysis that we've done, go to the YouTube channel and we'll repost all of these there as well. Ryan, do you have anything else for us as we close out? Thanks for jumping down my rabbit hole.
No problem. I love rabbit holes.
I know. I know all this extra money that's available.
I know, huh? Yeah, we're happy to sit down with you and over the phone. We sit down on the phone usually, but you're welcome to come in, of course. But we sit down on the phone together and go over these plans. Actually, I spend most of my time doing plans. You know, and the earlier you get in and we figure this out, the sooner you're going to be able to reach your financial goals ultimately.
Love it. Perfect. Well, thanks, Brian. Thanks for your time. Thanks everybody for joining us. Let us know if you have questions and we'll see you next month.
Perfect. See ya.
Bye.